Welcome back. It is Sunday, January 15th in the NBA. My four favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday, a 1-2 day. Marcus Smart goes over, Andrew Nembhard goes under, and then we did have Luka to get a triple-double. Only putting a half a unit on that, but he does not get it done. He gets the assist, but does not get the rebounds. Day one of our ladder challenge hit. If you have no idea what that is, you can watch our YouTube shorts. We're trying to roll over $10 reinvested every day. Trying to hit 10 straight bets, and we'll hit 10K at the end of that streak. You'll see it. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out. You can see my short. I'll post one later on today. Either way, if you're new, my name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. I appreciate it. We're trying to hit 70K subscribers one of these next few days. Then we'll do a giveaway parlay. I know the picks haven't been great. We've gone on an annoying stretch in the NBA, but we're just kind of struggling through this rough patch. The sun's brighter on the other side. We're going to dive into four plays today. 2 overs, 2 unders, no added plays. Diving into this first one. Mr. Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets under 25.5 points, -105 on Barstool. Now you can play this at 24.5 if you want. I really don't see it going any lower than 24.5. And Green's coming off 2 games where he hit the over. He won against the Kings, and then he went up against the Kings again. And he scored 27 points in his last game versus the Kings, but I believe he had 24 or 25 of them in the first half. And the Kings said, all right, fine, we'll actually defend you. And look, Green, he's going to attempt a lot of shots today, but we've seen in the past, just because the guy attempts shots does not mean he's going to score points. This is not a guy that gets to the free throw line a ton, knock on wood. And while Kevin Porter Jr., his running mate, is doubtful to play, that's fine. If he does, we've seen players that are doubtful in the beginning of the day turn into questionable and they end up playing. But we're not counting on that just to cash this. I mean, Green has struggled on the road, and he's on the road today against the Clippers. Now, Green this year, 22.4 points per game at home, only 20.6 on the road, shooting just 38.8%, 33% from the three-point line on the road. So he's really struggled on the road. He can't knock down shots. If he knocks down him today, that's fine. But I think the Clippers can match up well defensively against him. I think it make it difficult on him. And just say, you know what? One of those other guys off the bench, or Eric Gordon or someone like that, go beat you. Because I think you can live with one of those guys beating you. Rather just guard Jalen Green. Now, look, 6 career games versus this Clippers team. He's under in all 6 of them with 10, 13, 20, 21, 22, and 25 points. So, and he shot 15 plus times. So it's not like his shot attempts could be out of the realm of possibility. He shot well over 15 times in all of these games, still going under in all of them. And look at on the year, under this line, 29 of 42 games. I know people expect the volume to be bigger with KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr. out, but just because volume's more up there, it doesn't mean his quality of shots are going to be any better. In fact, they're probably even worse because he has to create them on his own, whereas Kevin Porter Jr. could set him up with some assists. Either way, I just don't think he absorbs all the volume. I think the guys off the bench, the Rockets love to play those guys as well, and the Rockets are always capable of getting blown out in any given game. We saw last game, Jalen Green had like a plus-minus of -30, was Alperen Sengun. His teammate was like -2. So maybe they play a little bit more through Sengun today, but that's still a pretty decent matchup against Zubac. And I think we've seen Green go way too many times, go out there and fire up like 4 for 19 from the field. I just don't think he's that guy today. I'm taking his under 25.5 points. Now, just because I hate Jalen Green doesn't mean I don't hate this next Green. He's on my shirt. Mr. Draymond Green, taking his over 21.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists, plus 100 on points bet. If you need an individual line, I believe rebounds is probably the one you're going to want to go for. And Draymond and the Warriors are in Chicago facing the Bulls. The Warriors are only 3.5 point favorites, and the over-under is 237. Now, let's talk about the injuries. DeMar DeRozan, questionable with his quadriceps injury, I believe, with the Bulls. I anticipate he does play in this one, but if he doesn't, that's fine. I'm not too concerned about DeMar being out there, but it would be nice if he's out there, keep this game at least close. But the Warriors have not been very good on the road. I know they just went and spanked the Alamo Dome and the Spurs, but I mean, come on, the Spurs have really been a bad team. But as for the other side, Warriors going to be down Jonathan Kuminga, JaMychal Green, Wiseman, and Iguodala. So they really don't have a lot of guys in the front court. They need those guys like Draymond Green out there for at least some size. And Kevon Looney will play, his minutes, but they're going to probably play Draymond at the 5 for a good amount of this game. And that's fine with me. I'm cool with that. Now, Draymond probably will guard Patrick Williams for a large majority of this game. And while Patrick Williams has had some flashes so far in his young NBA career, is not involved in the offense. Zach LaVine's going out there firing up shots. You'll see DeMar DeRozan if he's out there firing up shots. And ultimately, Patrick Williams just ends up camping out in the corner. And we'll see Draymond helping, getting a lot of rebounds, and hopefully pushing the pace and getting a lot of assists too. And, there's also there's a reasonable chance that Draymond could go out there and score 10 points. He could get a triple-double. That's at like plus 2,800 odds. I'm not saying that's absolutely crazy. And in Draymond's last 3 games for Chicago, played pretty well. He had 32 PRAs earlier this year, 25 and 25. So he stepped up against against his team, and since Curry returned, he's at 23 and 22 PRAs, going over in both of those 2 games. Now, one of those games was a blowout. Still managed to play, he's in 29 minutes, and I think he's going to play well over 30, 35 minutes if this game is close. Given how short they are on the front court, they're going to kind of need him out there. And Draymond has talked about in the past, especially on his podcast, where some games he doesn't get up for. He's just like, oh, I'm playing the Pistons today. Nah, screw that. I'm not going to show up for the Pistons. But this is a game in Chicago against the Bulls. There's a ton of history there. I imagine Draymond will show up. I think this game is close. It's a high-scoring game. Draymond can get a triple-double if he wants. It's plus 2,800 if you want a little bit of a sweat. But I think he's going to play at least 30, maybe 35 minutes if he avoids foul trouble. If he gets like 10 points, probably hits this with ease, but he doesn't need to score a ton of points to hit this over. So I really like Draymond. I think he has a pretty good game. He's had good track record against the Bulls. I like his over, 21.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. I don't mind any of his lines for regular lines, but I think rebounds might be the safest one. Had 12 in the last 2 games, so hopefully he keeps that going. Now, my third and final play, well, not third, actually, I have 2 more plays, but third play, this one's going to be one that I expect a lot of people to disagree with in the comments. So just because I say it in the video does not mean you have to tail this play. It's just what I'm playing, and you guys can do whatever you want with him because it's Mr. Ben Simmons. I like his over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists, which is currently minus 105 on DraftKings. I don't anticipate this going up, but you can take it at 25.5. Now, let's put on our glasses, do a little bit of line reading. Last game versus Boston, Mr. Simmons, 22 PRAs. They rose his line, and he didn't score a single point. He scored 0 points in that game, and he had 22 PRAs, so if he scores a little bit today, he probably hits this. But let's talk about his points line, because his points line has been 7.5 for like 6 straight games. He scored 0 points, and then they said, fine, we'll raise it to 8.5, a number he's gone under in 6 straight games. Now, I know sometimes people don't like the line reading, but I look at FanDuel. They don't even have him to score 15 plus points. They got so many other guys that score 15 plus. They don't even have Simmons on there. So it makes me think Simmons is going to have a pretty decent game here. And you look at the coaching staff, they got to at least tell Simmons, yo, we need you to be aggressive. I mean, last game we saw the Nets lose to the Celtics. He scored 0 points. He did his thing. He had 9 rebounds, 13 assists. So he got really close to this line, but he didn't score any points. And I imagine they tell him to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, I know people have a love-hate history with Ben Simmons. A lot of people hate him, and I can't say you're wrong for that. But I think he can come out here and play pretty well. If he can avoid foul trouble, he's going to play 30 or more minutes, and he's going to run the point guard for this position. And Lou Dort, a very good defender, going to be guarding Kyrie Irving. So Simmons going to have free reign to the hoop. They're not going to double him, the Thunder, that is. He's going to be able to drive, and if he's just a little bit aggressive, I'm just telling a little bit. I don't even need him to score 10 points today because I think he can hit this over regardless, but he's just a little bit aggressive, gets 5, even 5, maybe even 10. He could score 15 points. Ben Simmons is super talented, and people kind of push that to the side just because some games he doesn't show up, and I understand that. It's going to happen. If he comes up and lays an egg, then the pitchforks are probably going to come out for me in the comment section, but I think he has a good chance here. The Thunder have no rim protection. Simmons can still get to the hoop, and he can still put some thins and put the ball in the basket. If he misses a layup, he can hopefully get a tip in and get 2 or 3 points, rebounds, and points and rebounds there. So, look, I think Simmons has a good day today. Triple-double for him, plus 1,200. I think that might be worth the sprinkle. I know a lot of people might not agree with it, but Ben Simmons, I'm riding with you. Don't make me regret that. Over 24.5 PRAs. I think they rose his line for a reason. Simmons is going to step up today. My fourth and final play is actually going to be an early start. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I believe it's in the Knicks versus Pistons game, and it's Mr. Jaden Ivey, the rookie, under 15.5 points, minus 110 on PointsBet. Now, before I even dive into my analysis, I do want to put up, right now, I don't really know where the lines are going to be. Right now, we have PointsBet with the line, PrizePicks, and Underdog Fantasy both at 15.5, and then all other books don't really have a line. I think they're waiting for Bojan Bogdanovic's status, and you're going to get the status soon. It might even be live by the time that this video goes live. I'd play him at 14.5 though. Now, look at Mr. Ivey. I don't really care if Bojan's in or out. I think if he's in, then we're going to obviously see less shot attempts for a guy like Ivey. If he's out, then we're going to see better defenders on Ivey. And I think he probably gets guarded by Quentin Grimes or RJ Barrett. He could get Jalen Brunson on him, with Brunson is not a great defender, but I think at the end of the day, Ivey, I don't think he has a great game against the Knicks. Now, for starters, he's going to be asked to guard Jalen Brunson, and Mr. Ivey's always capable of foul trouble. He's had 4 fouls in the last 2 games, and you look at Ivey under this line in 15 of his last 25 games, and he's not really a great three-point shooter, shooting just 32.7% from the field. Now, he's going to attempt some, went 0 for 6 last game, but even if that, he can knock down a couple threes and still go under, because he's a guy that I think shoots threes and then tries to drive to the hoop, lay it in. Well, Mitchell Robinson's going to be waiting for him in the paint, and if Mitchell Robinson avoids foul trouble, which I imagine he does today, oh, hello, he's going to probably block your shot or make it really tough for you to lay it in. Now, look, instead, if he's going to shoot jump shots, he's a 41% shooter, so not very efficient. And so far this year versus New York, 17 and 10 points. Now, the 17 was with Cade Cunningham in the lineup, and obviously the Knicks kind of drew a little bit more attention to him. If Cade obviously is out today, if Bojan's out, the Knicks are going to even dive in a little bit even more into Ivey. He's a great young player. I like his future, I just don't think he scores 15. I don't think he scored 16 points today. The line's sometimes sharp on Ivy. He sometimes finishes, 13 to 17, somewhere in there. But I know Dwayne Casey, the Pistons head coach, loves himself some Alec Burks off the bench. Killian Hayes is always there. Sadiq Bey always there to shoot some shots as well. Ivy might have a good day rebounding and assisting the ball, but I don't really like his points. I think he has a bad game there. The Knicks are always capable of blowing out the Pistons. The Pistons are capable of getting blown out. I've seen crazier things happen. So give me Jaden Ivey to wrap up the video under 15.5 points as my fourth and final play of the day. It is time to shout out some COS All-Stars. I appreciate this list growing every day, despite my picks not being great. But I promise you, we're going to dive in. We're going to have a pretty good slate. I promise you that. We got Jason, Roski, we got Jackson, Chris, Tavis, Aaron, David, Jason, Larky, 5, Jack, and Luca. Look, I appreciate you guys so much. I promise you, the losing is going to end soon. You just got to push through it. You obviously don't have to tail any of the plays I suggest. They're just my plays, and you guys can do whatever you want with them. But I promise you, we're going to dive in soon. And once we get hot, last year we got really hot at the All-Star, right before the All-Star break. And one of my craziest runs ever. I think we went like 26-3 over like a 2-week span. I'm not saying that's crazy to expect. Hopefully we're diving in. I'll see you guys back in tomorrow for some more picks. NFL picks are already live on the channel. You can go check that out. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.